Carpals of ox. We have 6 carpals of ox, 4 are in proximal row and 2 are in distal row. From proximal row, there are 4, that is from medial to lateral side. First is radial, then intermediate, then ulnar, then accessory. And in the distal row, first one is absent, second, third are fused, and the fourth one is present. Second and third fused one are known as os magnum. So, firstly, we are going to study radial carpal, that is also known as scaphoid. Clear? So, we will directly go on the structure. So, firstly, we are going to study about the radial carpal. So, this is the radial carpal. सबसे पहले we need to, or at first, okay, we need to identify the surface. Which surface is what? So, firstly, a simple condition is there. See in this approximately located this projection. Okay, this projection is always posterior. This is on the posterior surface. That means if this is a posterior surface, this will be the anterior surface. That means this is the proximal surface, this will be the distal surface. Let me show you. This is the concave one, this is a distal surface. Okay, so this will be the medial towards the body, and away from the body is lateral. So the anterior, this one, the lateral, medial, and the posterior. You can see anterior, medial, and the posterior are non-articular. Here no bone will be attaching. And on the proximal surface, this will attach with the radius bone. It is convex anteriorly. आगे से देखें तो convex है, देखो है ना. And from the back side it is concave and also be a pointed projection. You can see the convexity and the concavity. Concave जब भी हो ना, आपको ऐसे गुफा दिखनी चाहिए. So the lateral side, it has facets for the intermediate carpal. ठीक है. And on the distal side, it is concave on the, like this was the posterior side now. So it is concave on posterior side, and it will articulate with second and third carpal. This is the second and third carpal. It will articulate with. Clear? Like this. Now the intermediate carpal, it is having the facets for intermediate carpal on the lateral side. So the intermediate carpal will be like attaching like something like this. Clear? You can see. So this was the radial carpal and it is known as scaphoid. Let me remind it. Okay, repeat it fast. It is present medially in proximal row, यानी कि सबसे पहला ये होएगा. इसके 6 surface हैं, anterior, posterior, proximal, distal, lateral and medial. ठीक है. Proximally, that means like this. इसको पीछे रखना है, ठीक है. Proximally ये रेडियस के साथ आर्टिकुलेट करेगी. आगे से कॉन्वेक्स है, पीछे से कॉन्केव है, एंड इसके पास एक प्रोजेक्शन भी है ऊपर को. Laterally it has facets for the intermediate carpal, and on the distal side, posterior it is concave and anterior it is convex, and interiorly it will basically combine with second and third carpal. Clear? So going with the intermediate carpal, this is known as semilunar. Why? It's for its shape only. ठीक है, like this is semilunar, curve is curve here. Also again it has a 6 surfaces: anterior, posterior, medial, lateral. Okay, here medial, lateral is basically both having the facets for radial and ulnar carpal. So you can't see the plane side or the facet side. So in this, the identification feature will be this heart shaped structure. You can see like this is forming a heart or something like triangle, like a seat of bicycle. So this will be the dorsal, means proximal surface. So this will be the ventricle or the ventral or the distal surface, which will articulate with second, third and fourth carpal. On the lateral side, there will be 3 facets for the ulnar carpal. You can see 1, 2, 3. And on the radial side, medial side, there are also 3 facets for the radial carpal. The anterior one and the posterior one are non-articular. You can see the anterior one is narrower and the posterior one is quite broad. These both are articular. This will also articulate with radius. This will articulate with second and third carpal. So if we attach the radial one with the intermediate, it will be attaching like this one, this much. So next is the ulnar carpal. Your ulnar carpal is basically a very massive bone. It is known as cuneiform. It has 6 surfaces. Basically, again, the anterior and posterior, again anterior and lateral are non-articular. Posterior will be having the facet for the accessory carpal. Now how we could identify this? है ना? Main the question is this. So its identification is basically the groove. You can see this groove has this facet, this side. This facet is for the accessory carpal, and the accessory carpal facet is present on the posterior side. So this is your posterior, then it will be your anterior side. This is anterior, then if it is a posterior. ठीक है, ये देखो anterior, ये है posterior, posterior, anterior. So this will be medial, this will be lateral, the distal one. So anterior, this one, and the lateral one are non-articular, because the next bone here, the accessory carpal, will be joining at the posterior side. Proximally, it is an articular area which run from anterior medial, like this, anterior medial to posterior lateral aspect, and the styloid process of ulna will be articulating here. Okay? And on the distal side, this is the articular area for the fourth carpal. I can show you the fourth carpal attachment. It will be something like this. Clear? So distally, it is an articular area for the fourth carpal. Proximally, it has a groove basically, or we can say it is elongated facet. Okay? Proximally, a facet for the accessory carpal. You can identify this one. So go with the groove, and this one will be the proximally, and also with the groove on this side, you can see this one. This will attach with the ulnar carpal. Basically, here's a facet. ये ऐसे, ठीक है. एक मिनट, और इसके साथ ही हम इसको भी जोड़ के दिखा देते हैं. So you can see the 3 attachment of the 3 bones. Now, and on the posterior side, accessory carpal is there. Let's see. Accessory carpal is a simple bone like a stone only. So here is also a simple, again simple facet is present. You can join this facet with this facet. That's it. Clear? So let's show the accessory. The accessory carpal basically don't bear weights, and it is a sesamoid bone only. It is having a one articular area which will attach with the ulnar carpal on its posterior side. It's okay. It is the face. This articular area is on the anterior side. So this is posterior. So medial one, lateral one. So medial one is concave. Like see, it's halka sa, you can feel inner side, and the lateral one is convex. It is bulging outwards. Clear? So this is a very simple bone. Now talking about the second and the third carpal. In the case of ox, the second and third carpal is fused. Clear? And it is known as os magnum. It again has a 6 surfaces. Posterior, this is the anterior one, this is the posterior one, this is the medial one. These 3 are non-articular. You can see they are continuous also. The lateral side will be articulating with the fourth carpal. Here you can see the lateral side. Proximally, it has an articular area which is separated by a ridge. This is a ridge, देखिए ये वाला. Into the 2 unequal halves. This is small, this is large. Okay, so this is the medial surface, this is the lateral surface. So the medial part is larger than the lateral part. ठीक है? And this will articulate with radial and partly the intermediate carpal. So let us do this. Let us make this attachment possible here. So something like this. Just a second. On this side it will attach. You can see this is completely here, and this will intermediately, means partially with the intermediate carpal. And on the distal side it will is small and articulate with the large metacarpal bone. Okay, it is present here like this. Clear? Now the fourth carpal. This is this bike. Its identifying feature is this one. This outer bulging part. This is anterior. Okay. So this is posterior plain one. This is the lateral one. This is the medial one. So the lateral sides is in this case are non-articular. So you can see anterior, posterior, and lateral. This time anterior, posterior, and lateral one are non-articular. Proximally, it is an articular area. It is separated by a ridge, unequal halves. On the lateral like this medial, this is lateral. So lateral articular area is much larger, and it will articulate with intermediate and the ulnar carpal. So medial it would articulate with os magnum, and distal it would be articulating with the large metacarpal. So let's attach. Like this. No, it's interior. So here anterior है ना ये, तो anterior पीछे रहेगा, इसके साथ ऐसे जुड़ जाएगी ये. Anterior आगे रहेगा, इसका anterior ये था, तो ये ऐसे जुड़ जाएगी on the medial side. Clear? So we have covered all the bones, carpal bones of the ox. ठीक है? So if you have any doubt, you can ask and take the screenshot of these notes that I have provided behind. In the next lecture, we will be studying the carpals of the horse.